everyone, it's Kate here for another dual book review. So I have two mystery reviews for you in this video. And the first is going to be A Duty to the Dead by Charles Todd. A Duty to the Dead starts out with Bess Crawford, the main character, who is a nurse helping out during World War I, and she is on her way home in the Britannic when a torpedo hits it, and there are lots of people that are injured, and she breaks her arm. A couple days before that happened, she was sitting with a soldier who was dying on the ship, and his last words were, "Tell Mother that I lied and I did it for her sake." And he tells her to carry that message home to his family. That's how much it means to him. So then she's injured. She goes home to recover with her family, to convalesce, and then really starts to feel her conscience nagging at her that she should go and tell this family this message, that it was Arthur's dying wish to get this message across. So she's traveling and goes to the family's home and meets his two other brothers that she knows about and tells them the message. And it's not quite received like she thought it was. They act like it's not really a big deal. They're not really sure why she traveled all the way to tell them, why she couldn't have just sent it to them in a letter. And so she knows that certain things aren't lining up. And very soon into it, I don't think I'm really giving any spoilers here, but just because this happened so soon, she finds out about another brother who is living in an asylum. But just like I said, not everything is as it seems with this family. They're not being really straightforward with all the details of the family life, and eventually she starts to realize that she doesn't know if she can trust anyone that she's staying with, and that she really needs to watch her back. So one of the things about this book that I really enjoyed was simply the character of Bess, which is neat for me because this is a series, so I know I could see Bess in a lot more books if I wanted to. And what I really appreciated about her character was that she's very level-headed and also sticks to her guns. If she doesn't feel right about something, or if she feels like something should be done that isn't being done, she makes her opinion very clear. And I appreciate her level-headedness, because to be kind of the heroine in this type of story where there are villains, you have to be level-headed. You can't just go flying off the handle at any moment. And so she was a really appealing character to me with that. And I will link Kate's review down below. Another Kate, her channel is called The Novel Nomad, and we did this as a buddy read together, and we had a great time talking about it. And she says in her review that this was very atmospheric, and I totally second that. It was a good winter read. It felt very, very cold and very isolated and dark, and actually for myself maybe a little bit too dark. I don't quite enjoy mysteries to be this sinister, because just the nature of the crime and certain things that happen later on in it are really sinister, and so a little bit darker than what I'm used to in mysteries. And aside from that, I did really enjoy this. And so I enjoyed this enough. I gave it 3 stars, which a mystery to get 5 stars has to, is really hard. So 3 stars for a mystery is good. And I will be checking out the next one in the series. So right now, it's definitely not up there as one of my favorite series. The writing wasn't the most amazing that I've ever read, but definitely enjoyable enough for me to try out the second one and see if I want to continue with that. And then the second book that I read, the second mystery, is The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. This is the first in the Flavia de Luce series, which is one that I had on my list of mysteries that I wanted to read. Well, both of these were on that list, so slowly going through that list, which has been really fun. I kind of had my one mystery series I would read, so it's nice to have some other series to try out and have some variety there. So Flavia de Luce is a 11-year-old girl who ends up solving a murder, and she is a chemistry and math and science whiz kid, and her 2 older sisters do not understand her basically at all. So that is interesting to see this really kind of typical thing where sisters are just constantly bickering. And so that was interesting to see and really different, you know, than a lot of mystery series that I read because a child isn't the main character. So Flavia lives with her two sisters and her father in a mansion in England. Towards the beginning of the book, Flavia, in the middle of the night, gets up and hears her father arguing, speaking in a raised voice with a man that she doesn't know who he is. And he has bright red hair. And hears him arguing, and then, you know, someone tells her to go to bed. So she goes to bed, and then in the morning when she gets up, she walks outside and finds laying across the pathway in the garden is the red-haired man who she didn't know who he was, and he looks at her and says valet with his dying breath, and then he dies then and there. So Flavia calls in the police, but this being a story about a basically genius child, it ends up that she soon realizes that the police will need her assistance. And it was kind of strange to me that this 11-year-old girl is insulted when the police don't want her help. What police force would think that a child could help them figure out a murder? So that did grate on me a little bit. I just thought she was a little bit too, like, sassy on purpose. But as I kept reading the book and getting to know her more, it didn't bother me as much, and I realized this is just kind of her personality and what she's like. In the first third of the book, I actually was not enjoying this that much, simply because Flavia's character kind of irked me at first. But then as I was going on, I was really enjoying it, and I definitely enjoyed this more than A Duty to the Dead, simply because it was more lighthearted feeling. And another bonus about this series is there are lots of Charles Dickens references in this. Nicholas Nickleby, Anne Bleak House, and maybe David Copperfield were referenced in this. So it is a great mystery series for book lovers, and I really appreciated that. And I did learn about certain historical events, true events, that I didn't know about before that. And yes, this mystery takes Flavia all over the place, and she travels on her bicycle, which she has named Gladys. And so it was definitely a page turner, lots of interesting events happening, and it was neat to see the mystery unfold and kind of the complexity of it and exactly how things happened. And she really gets to know her father better in this, a father that was kind of distant before she gets to know better and feels like she likes him. So, although I enjoy this one a lot more than Duty to the Dead, I still would say only 3 stars for this, simply because I want to read the next one in the series, and I feel like I will enjoy the series more and more as it goes on. So I'm giving this a 3 stars in good faith that the next book might be 4 stars, or the rest of the series might have 4-star books. So I definitely want to investigate more of this series, and I will also say the audiobook was excellent. It has either a woman who's very good at sounding like a little girl or a sort of grown-up sounding little girl. So they were definitely both enjoyable mysteries, 3 stars for both, and I recommend that you check them out. And I will let you guys know what are the next mysteries that I'll be reading next month. And I hope you are having a great day, and I will see you for another video soon. Bye.